Welcome to this special webinar designed to give you a preview of just some of the changes that are coming soon to NuORDER. Today's presentation is going to be hosted by myself, Sarah, our Senior Director of Customer Success, and also our Head of Product, Eric Panisi. We are both represented here today because this latest release is truly a collaboration between technology and customer success. I know many of you here are going to hear about a feature or two today and think, hey, I asked for that. And that's because we value our customers as partners, and we continuously welcome your feedback on how we can make NuORDER the best B2B available. We're thrilled to be able to show you what our teams have been working on for the last 5 months. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Eric to share some details of what you can expect in NuORDER 4.0. We are hosting a Q&A session at the end, so if you have questions for either Eric or myself, please just type them into the chat window and we'll respond to as many as we can at the end.
Thanks, Sarah. Hello and welcome to all of you who are joining the NuORDER 4.0 webinar. As Sarah mentioned, my name is Eric Panisi and I am the Head of Product here at NuORDER. Today I'm going to take you through all of the exciting features of our next generation platform, NuORDER 4.0. Some of the topics I am going to cover today include our redesigned product gallery, line sheets and custom lists, using campaigns to increase sales and measure ROI, and our upcoming mobile app for iPhone and iPad. As Sarah mentioned, gather your questions throughout the demo, and we'll answer them at the end. Okay, let's get started. Our new product gallery loads faster, is easier to use, and looks amazing to give your buyers a best-in-class experience. The first thing you may notice is that we've simplified our collections down to 2 concepts, line sheets and custom lists. I'll get back to those in a little bit, but first let's go through our product gallery. Our new gallery view is clean and configurable. Brands will now be able to choose which fields show up on your product cards. For example, if you don't like the style number or color fields, you can remove them or replace them with any other field. You can also sort the gallery to show the most recent items first, or a number of other options. When you mouse over an item, you'll see a shopping cart icon, a star, and an action bar. The shopping cart will add things to the working order or the shopping cart. They're the same thing. The star will add things to a custom list, which is essentially the equivalent of a recommendation today. And the action bar will host a menu of additional options and is seen in many places throughout the new interface. In this case, there is just one option to copy a link to the item. Selecting Copy Link will copy a direct link to your clipboard so that you can paste it into an email, text message, or anywhere else you desire. For example, I'll show it to you here. If I bring up the direct link to the product, it actually takes me to a full-page product view so that you can see all the information about a specific item. If you click on a product itself, it'll open it to the quick view to the right, which is very similar to what you're used to in NuORDER today. You'll note, however, though, when I was mousing over, the View Page button at the top actually brings you to the same full product page view that I showed you just a second ago with the direct link. There are a few key improvements to the quick view on the right. First is that it is the width of a phone view, which is part of our roadmap to make our site mobile browser optimized so that you can use any device to access NuORDER. Second, we are emphasizing sizing and ordering, as we know that is what our customers want to do most. As I scroll down to enter my sizing, you'll see that the Add to Order button becomes sticky at the top of the screen. Back up top here, if I click on an image, you'll get a large full screen view of the image, and now you'll actually be able to zoom in even further if you want to see the texture of the items. And again, this depends on the resolution of your imagery itself. I can also toggle back and forth to see other images and zoom in and out on those images as well. Search has been optimized. So if I type in the word search, you can now search across many different categories. In this case, I can see it brings up some items at the beginning that I may be interested in, but I can also see if this dress is available, and if I had searched on a dress name, it would be more specific. But is this dress, which orders does this dress exist in? Which line sheets or custom lists contain that dress as well? And I just click on here and it'll bring me over to those sections of the product. Meanwhile, because I searched on dress, you can see behind me here, now I've narrowed my gallery down to dresses. One of the advantages of narrowing the gallery is that if I'm an admin, a NuORDER admin, and I want to export my product data, which is sometimes something that needs to be done, we now have this export button up here. And again, this button will only be visible to admins. Now, if I click on export, I can now export in CSV or XLS format and in horizontal or vertical format. And the maximum number of rows that you can export is 5,000. So if you need to export more products than that, you can simply narrow the list using either the search up the top or the filters on the left, and you'll be able to download multiple files to export your data. Now let's talk about line sheets. When I click on line sheets, I'm taken to a gallery of line sheets. In this case, there are just 2 available. When I click on the first one, you'll notice that it takes me to a line sheet page with a large hero image at the top, and then you'll start to see the products down below. If I scroll back up to the top here, you'll notice that there's a bunch of information in the middle, and that is because I'm logged in as an admin. One of the advantages of NuORDER 4.0 is that admins will be able to create and edit line sheets directly in the main gallery here. They won't have to go over to admin anymore to make changes. So in this case here, as an admin, I'm able to choose which PDF template and PDF options are available when the buyer or rep downloads the line sheet. So if I scroll up the top here, you'll see that there'll be a download option, and this will be available for reps and buyers, and they can choose if they want a PDF or an XLS. As an admin, if I'm making changes to the line sheet, I'm able to actually just drag and drop to move things around quite easily. I can also add separators, which you can see here, and I can change the name of the separators directly just by typing right here. Finally, line sheets, just like products, which I showed earlier, will be available for direct linking. So in this case here, I can either copy a link to the line sheet here, or if I'm back on the line sheet page, the action menu here will also have the copy link option. I simply take that link and I can paste it into any browser, email program, Gmail, text message, you name it, and it'll take me directly to the line sheet. One thing that's worth noting is that the user will have to be able to be logged in to view the line sheet. And this is to protect your brand data. So that way only your users and your reps and your buyers can actually see the information that's on your platform. The next concept I wanted to talk about is custom lists. Custom lists are a lot like recommendations or favorites today, except it's one concept for both buyers and reps. They actually are also very similar to the functionality you see in line sheets. The only main difference is that they don't have a hero image at the top. One of the great things about the new lists is that they actually do have separators, just like a line sheet. So in this case here, I'm creating a line sheet, maybe for one of my buyers, or I should say a custom list. I added 2 dresses and a top, and I created separators to make it so that they can see the different sections of the list. Now I can actually send this list to a buyer using a campaign, which I'll talk about in just a minute. In addition, I can add all these items to an order, or I can also copy a link directly to my list as well. Now, I mentioned a minute ago that we'll be able to send lists or line sheets to 1 or more buyers. In this case here, you can see the send link. The send link creates a campaign, which is a new concept here for NuORDER. The campaign also is accessible by clicking on the campaigns menu. In this case here, if I create a campaign, I click create new, I can type in the name of what I want to call that campaign. I can, in this case, let's say it is my Eric's fall campaign, and I can choose which line sheet or list I want to send as part of that campaign. I have the option to send it as an easy order, which will work the same as easy orders work today. And just like a mail template here, I can fill in the contacts I want to send it to. I have a buyer named Mike. You can see that when I search for Mike, it shows me smart groups that contain Mike, as well as contacts that are named Mike. In this case, I'm going to add this Mike contact here. Smart groups are a concept that I'm going to cover in just a minute. So before I go there, I can show you that just like, oops, I added Mike twice. Just like in an email here, I can fill in the subject saying, check out my fall campaign. And then some marketing content can go in here. I click Send Campaign, and then when I come back to my campaign section over here, you'll see I didn't actually send that one. You'll get a campaign that has analytics like this. And if I click into the campaign, you'll be able to see in this case, maybe I can send it to 100 or 200 people. So I'll say 200 people, 150 opened it, 110 clicked on it, and 78 people ordered from it as a result of sending out that campaign. So this will really help you to start to drive action, drive orders, and see the value of sending out a campaign. And a campaign can be for hundreds, as I just mentioned, or it could even be for just one individual person if you want to see if they're actually viewing the information that you're sending to them. Also, if I click on View Campaign Activities for each campaign, I will actually get a list of all people that were sent the campaign, all those who did not open it, who opened it, who clicked on it, or who ordered from it. And if I think about this click list here for a second, if I look at all the people who maybe clicked on the link in the email to go and view the line sheet, but didn't actually end up ordering, this presents me with an opportunity to follow up with those people and try to generate or close a sale as a result of having this information available to you in the NuORDER portal. As I mentioned when we were talking about campaigns, campaigns can also leverage something called smart groups. Smart groups are essentially a mailing list, and it's meant to be created in a way that makes them scalable and reusable. So in this case, I created a men's shops in warm weather climates smart list. If I go in there, you can actually choose different criteria that the smart list will use to create a list of buyers that meet those criteria. In this case, there's just one in my system right now, but this is a list for men's shops in warm weather states such as California, Texas, and Florida. And so in this case here, the state, those states would have been chosen. I can also, for example, do a smart list of all buyers available for a certain rep. Maybe I want a smart list for a large company that I sell into. That is really up to you. Now, that said, the important feature and why we call it a smart group is because the list will automatically update. So for example, if you have California, Texas, and Florida selected and buyers, let's say you add 20 buyers from California to your list in NuORDER, this list will automatically update to include all those buyers in California. So the next time you send out a campaign to warm weather climates, they will automatically receive that new campaign. So that's why we call them smart. Just one last thing to call out is that the remainder of NuORDER will function the way you're used to seeing it today. So for example, contacts will look the same as they do today, same for the media gallery, and even the orders tab. If I go over here, you'll notice that the orders tab looks like the most recent update that we made to it earlier this year. In fact, you may even notice that the styling in the orders tab now is actually similar to what we've implemented in the entire gallery, because it was actually, we were already moving towards the direction of the styling that you see here. Don't worry about the alignment up here. That's something that will be fixed before we launch. Now you're looking at what you can probably tell is an iPhone view of NuORDER. This may be unfamiliar to you because our current app only works on the iPad, but our new app that we're building now and will roll out in Q4 is going to work on both iPad and iPhones. This is a native app with offline capabilities, and it will have all of the same functionality that you can get in NuORDER on the web. So for example here, I'm actually looking at a product gallery view where I can see all the different products that are available to me in my gallery. Actually, the mobile app also has additional views, which you won't find on the web. That's a small thumbnail view, as well as a large thumbnail view. So I can scroll down and see bigger pictures. Going back to the gallery, if I tap on a product, actually I'll show you, it has the same shopping cart, star, and ability to copy a link from the action bar. If I tap on the product, you can see when I scroll down, it actually has all the information laid out really nicely on the phone screen, so that it's very easy for you to tap in there, enter in some quantities, and order the product. In addition, just like on the web, I can zoom in and see up close the texture and details of the product as long as you have a high resolution image. Just as on the web, you'll now have the same concepts of line sheets and custom lists. So if I tap on line sheets, I'll be brought to a list of line sheets. I can tap on this line sheet here, and I can scroll down, and I can see all the products that are available to me on this line sheet. The other really important note here is that this app will be available for both reps and buyers. So if you send your buyers a direct link to a line sheet, or a direct link, or just an email that's a campaign, as I mentioned earlier in the webinar, they will be able to view all this information on their phones while they're on the go. And we actually know that more buyers have phones than they do even tablets. That's one of the reasons we've really focused on the phone here. Same thing for custom lists. I can tap over here, and there are the favorites that I was just looking at on the web a few minutes ago. And there are the dresses and the top that were in my favorites that you saw. So everything that's available on the web is always going to be the same thing that's available on the phone. Finally, I should mention one thing that's not currently available in the current app, but will be in the new app, is orders. So you'll be able to see a list of your orders. In this case, there's only 3 for this company. I can tap in here and I can see information on the order. This order actually had no items. This one here has 10 of the suede romper. I can actually tap on that, and I can actually see the breakdown of the quantities based on size as well. So everything is sort of tappable, linkable. We have a lot of the filters that you would see if I go back to the gallery here, just like on the main web. If I tap the filter, which is up in the top right there, I can bring up and I can see seasons. I can, again, see everything that's in the fall. And now I go back, and all this gallery has now updated to show me everything that's in the fall, and actually has a little chip. We call that a little chip up the top there that says fall. So I can tell what my gallery is being filtered by. And if I don't want to see just fall items anymore, all I have to do is just tap on that X. It goes away, and the gallery refreshes with the latest information. You'll have full working order and checkout capabilities here in the shopping cart. And if you're on the iPad, you will actually also have the ability to run reports. And that's something, again, that on the web today you cannot do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the phone down now, and I'm going to pick up the iPad and just show you a couple neat things that are available only on the iPad. Here you can see my screen that is an iPad mini. Now I will say we've actually designed some beautiful views that work really well on an iPad Pro as well, if you happen to have the very large version of the iPad. Similar to what you saw on the phone, we actually have multiple views. So you can see, in this case, we call this sort of the card view, or it's not exactly a list view, it's more like a card view. And one of the great things that I've gotten feedback from people on already is they love seeing how many products they can see on the screen at once. And so this really does give that power user view, if you will. But in addition, we still have the same small thumbnail view and the large thumbnail view as well. And these views will also carry over the views that we get from the web, where if you choose to use different fields other than style number or color, the iPad and the iPhone will also show just the things that you have asked to see. So if I go back over to let's also take a look at our main menu. It looks the same as the phone. So again, it's one app. It's actually the same app. I'll be able to see my line sheets over here as well. And now you can see we're starting to get into some of this multi-paned navigation, which is actually quite powerful, where I can actually never lose track of where I am in the app. I can always scroll back and forth. And it's actually most noticeable if I go over to, let's take a look at some orders for a minute. So let's say I'm on an order. I bring up this order here, which I was looking at a few minutes ago. I see the suede romper again. And I want to see, for example, what other orders this buyer has placed. I don't have to go back to the main menu anymore. I don't have to scroll over to buyers. All I have to do is just tap on, you can see Mike Buyer there, and my finger's going to go tap on there. And it immediately opens a window with Mike Buyer. And there'll actually be, this screen is still a little bit of a work in progress because there'll be more information down below in the white area. But in the meantime, what's going to be there is if I actually just tap on the view orders, I can now see all the orders that Mike has made, which in this case happens to be the 3 that we saw before. But this list over here is now filtered by the company and the buyer based on the fact of just what I'm tapping on. So it's really easy. Everything is sort of interlinkable, if you will, to make it easy to go back and forth. And also I can scroll back to where I was. And it's very easy for me to get back and forth just by dragging my finger across the screen. Now let's say I'm over here on the order. Another thing that's really great that you can do is you can actually move orders from different statuses. I know this is something that was highly requested by a lot of reps, was to be able to move something to approved or pending or canceled, and to be able to do that directly in the iPad app. And now you can do that. You can see this move. In this case, it was a canceled order, so I could actually uncancel it and move it back to pending. I can also look at the order PDF. So if I click on the PDF right there, the PDF is now going to open in this window. Hopefully in just a second here. And now I can see the PDF in full screen view. I can actually even go vertical on my iPad, and it will show me, and I can see the whole PDF on the screen. And this actually, you can open that PDF, I should go back over here, in the Safari browser right now with just a tap, and you can then print it. So if you have AirPrint, you can now print PDFs directly from your iPad. I click done, and I'm back over to my order again. We're now entering the question and answer portion of our webinar. Please enter your questions into the GoToWebinar questions section, and we will use the remaining time to answer as many questions as possible. Thank you.